Please take extra precaution listening to this episode of We're All Psychic because it is a meditation and a deep hypnotist does it. So you would like not to be operating heavy machinery. Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We Are All Psychic, and today we have such a cool guest. I can't stand it. Do you know how long it took to start this podcast? Would you like to meet Kisha? Kisha, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I am thrilled to be here.
I am thrilled you're here. And listeners, you wouldn't believe how much we talked before we started this. We just talked, and she is so much fun. And she's going to tell you about it and get you all excited about it. But first, would you like to answer the question? Do you think we're all psychic?
I do, to a certain extent. I do believe that some people the gift is probably more developed, maybe with some than are others. But I do believe, we all kind of have like that sixth sense to a certain extent, I mean, like, I definitely have been in a room and kind of feel like, some energy,
Yeah.
and I can't, I'm not a medium. I can't see anything, but you can definitely feel like it's like, okay, something feels off, and I've had situations, actually, and I'm just going to keep this real brief because I know you have an agenda that we are supposed to follow.
Well, I'm really curious. I'm really curious about your answer.
Speaking of this, so about a couple years ago, I went to Amelia Island in Florida. Okay. And I was with a cousin of mine, and we were visiting family members on her side of the family, or her mom's side of the family. So she's like related to me on her father's side. So I didn't know these other family members. So there was a little small unit of apartments that we stayed in. Okay. And just to kind of give you a little bit of background on Amelia Island is very known because at one point it was the only place that Black people were able to go in terms of with the beach back there. Yeah, so it's pretty well known.
Island,
yeah, and I mean, so you have like people like Dizzy Gillespie, all those people, when they would travel, this place was on what they call the Green Book. Okay. So if you're not familiar with the Green Book is a list of books that back in the day, okay, when we had segregation, okay, that there were a list of places, restaurants, hotels, places where Black people were able to go to stay. And it's called the Green Book. There's actually a movie about it that came out a few years ago, but it was called the Green Book. Okay. And this was one of the places, okay, that people were able to go because American Beach, that's what it was called. And that was one of the beaches, the only beaches that African Americans were able to go during that time frame. Okay.
When was it? Remember by any chance what years it was?
Well, I mean, definitely. I want to say like in that what I mean, because let's see, slavery ended. Okay, so definitely, but even though slavery ended, there was still segregation. Yeah. So definitely, I would say it was probably around during the 40s. Okay. Yeah.
Not even 100 years ago, you know?
Yeah. So this is where we're still talking.
Look where we are now.
And look where we are. And we still have a ways to go, but, we are not to the point where we were with the Green Book, I mean, this is during the time when they had sundown towns. Okay. So sundown town is a town where after a certain time frame, Black people were not admitted to be or should not be out on the street because you had the Klan and all that stuff, kind of going on. So they had sundown towns. Okay. Where it was known you need to be home and off the street by a certain time, by sundown. That's how they got their name, sundown towns. But anyway, I digress. Let me go back to what I was saying. So we were staying in one of these little small apartments. And I remember that morning I got up and I was getting dressed to go out. And I had a scrunchie that I was using. And I placed the scrunchie on the ledge in the bathroom. Like I know exactly, it was like a hair clip. Sorry, it was a hair clip. And I know exactly where I placed it. Like I knew where I placed it. And I remember coming back into the room and I wasn't there. And I was like, okay, like I know where I placed it, and I'm looking around because I thought to myself, well, maybe I moved it and just didn't really realize it. But I'm looking all over, like, no, I do remember this. And I asked my cousin, because she and I were sharing the room together, and I said, hey, I said, Pat, I said, did you by any chance move or see a scrunchie? She said no. And I believed her. I mean, I didn't think she would lie to me, but I believed her because I knew she had not been in the bathroom. I knew she had it because I went in after her. She was done and like out in the kitchen during the time.
Right.
And it wasn't until like later on when I came home, all of a sudden this thing just appeared back. Okay.
Now, that happened. Oh my God.
I know, like I know where I put it. And at first I didn't say anything to her much about it, but she has a daughter who does have gifts. And after she and I had visited this place later on during the summer, like we had visited during like April of, I want to say like 2024 through 2023. That's when we visited. Later during that summer, during the July 4th holiday, she went back to the same place, but this time with her grandkids and her daughter. And her daughter, who has gifts, she actually saw something in that same room, in that bathroom where we were. And, when she said it, I said, you know what? That makes sense, because I know that clip, but I know I did not move it. Like, I know where I put it, Lisa. I know where I put it.
I know what you mean. It's a fairy usually do it to me.
I don't know where I put it.
I mean, I think everyone's had that experience with their keys before too, haven't you?
Yes. You put it just like, what is going on?
Like right here.
Exactly. Like playing little tricks and things and that, having fun with you,
yes.
Stuff, but yeah, I have had that experience. So I do think that to a certain extent, I do think that we all have gifts. And if you think about it, because we don't even use 20% of our brain.
Yeah. And a lot of people
don't.
Make a really good point to any kind of skepticism about like any of them existing, psychic abilities is like feeling people see you or like look at you, feeling people look at you. We just talked about that on the last podcast, and another guest said that. And we've talked about like noticing more than anything. Like if that happened with the scrunchie, and if you had started noticing more, there's probably other stuff going on in the bathroom.
A lot more. I just noticed, and I think what is many times we're just not tuned into that frequency, because it is a frequency.
And it may not be something that interests someone naturally.
Not right. And everybody's different, but I do believe there are some people that are more sensitive to it. Okay. Maybe especially if they have, this is like a familiar, like a family thing. Okay. So, you do have families that the women, generations back, they've always had these different gifts. And what happens is, as the generation moves, sometimes those gifts get weaker, especially if you're doing certain things, like, I don't know, so if you're drinking, maybe it won't come through as strong. I have a friend of mine who is very gifted, okay, but because she, takes different types of medication for pain and stuff like that, she's not always able to feel that. It dulls it, okay? But when she's not taking it or whatever, and she's feeling better, and she's like off of medication, things come in very, very strong for her.
It sounds
very, very strong. Yeah.
I get that too. Yeah. I just stopped vaping nicotine, and I've been dealing with that sensitive, energetic kind of thing,
So Lisa, what does that feel like? I mean, I know you're supposed to be asking me questions, but this is very interesting to me, because I'm not, it's like I'm not medium or clairvoyant. I know the different types. So
I can tell you something. I tell you something exactly that will tell you how this feels. It feels like that guy just left you, the one you thought it was going to be the one, and it's been 2 or 3 months since you've talked to him. That's how it feels.
Oh, okay.
It hurts. And you feel like a longing for it,
Okay. When it's not,
my body's healthier, and that's including getting rid of a person who's not good for you or toxic for you. if that was the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel better in other ways. Your health will feel better. You'll feel relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
No, because the person's not stressing you out. And
Right.
with the nicotine, it was bad for my body. It was causing these problems. And the nicotine vape was the one that really did it, because there were a lot of nicotine in that. And I did it all the time. And I had these like spots coming up on my face, and my guts were like immobile. I didn't know that was what was doing it. Now my guides, I work with guides, and they would tell me, you need to quit vaping. They wouldn't tell me why, or if they were, I wasn't hearing it. But that's an experience, that's something you have experienced, that loss, right, of someone you've been close to, maybe something kind of like that.
My grandmother passed in April 20th, 2024.
Oh.
My grandma, I mean, like, I had the goodbye dream, and everything, not everybody does. I had about a month after she passed.
Usually about a month. Yeah.
I got about a month. I had my goodbye dream for her. Yeah.
So wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Most people do.
Respectful.
People get some visitation, and they do get a dream. And I bet you probably had butterflies and cardinals and.
Well, I will say this. I think for me, once I only saw her one time, but I knew it was her, Lisa, because in the dream, I remember when I saw her, she was like standing like on some stairs. Okay. And, most people talk about how, in heaven, how you go back to the way you used to look. Okay. But she appeared to me the way she always did look. Okay. Yeah. And I'm guessing probably because she felt like I might not have known, I didn't know her when she was younger, so I would never have been. So she appeared to me the way I did, which was. And I remember she had like this blue cane, because she had a blue cane that she would use. And I remember I saw her, and I remember I used to call her Nanny. And I said, Nanny, is that you? And she said, yeah, like she talked to me, in the dream, she talked to me. And I remember I asked her, I said, how are you doing? You doing okay? And, my grandmother was kind of be a bit of a spitfire, because she actually like replied to me and said, I'm doing better than you. I was like, okay, like you have to say all that, just say, yeah, I'm doing well. You have to go all there. But, that did make sense, and then I remember, like the personality was still there. And so I remember I said to her, Ash, I said, well, can I hug you? And she said, yeah. And I remember like when I hugged her, because that was important to me, like I needed to feel my grandmother. And I remember when I hugged her, Lisa, it was amazing. Like her life force, it just went through my body. I could feel her. I knew it was her. I was in a dream, but I could feel her, like the way she smelled and everything, like from the time I was a child. Like all those flashes from like a child and being home with her, and then up until, when she passed, like it just went like a flash of light.
So I forgot too, right?
But I could feel her. I felt her whole energy. I knew it was her. Yes. When she touched me, I knew it was her. Like it really just went through my whole body, And so then I remember she got ready to leave and she said, I have to go. And I remember I said, okay, I didn't try to get her to stay. I knew she had to go. And then what I did was I said, I took her cane, and she said, why would you take my cane from me, Kisha? I said, but Nanny, you don't need it anymore. and she stomped up the steps of the treatment. And she's probably like, she's probably thinking, I came to say goodbye to you, and you took my damn cane from me. I said, and she literally said, why would you take that? Why give me that back? Why? I said, but Nanny, you don't need it anymore.
Okay, did she leave with it or without it?
She left with her cane. Well, she left with it. But I do believe that I haven't seen her anymore since then. But I think it's because she's happy. She has completely crossed over.
Yeah.
And she has accepted and understands that her time has done. Not to mention, Lisa, she was the last one standing. My grandmother was 97 when she passed. Okay, and
the people pass away.
She had outlived her husband, my grandfather, by 20 years. All her sisters and all her brothers had all passed on. Okay, my grandmother was the last one.
That's how my grandmother was too.
The last one standing. So she's home.
Yeah.
She's home. She's home.
Is too. She's home.
She's home. Yeah, she's home.
That's weird because my Gram's husband also died 20 years before.
Really?
Yeah, and she just passed away recently. Yeah, my
I'm sorry to hear that.
My mom's mom. She was 100.
Wow.
She lived
you
to
have
100.
some longevity with you, girl. You have some longevity in your family roots. Oh my goodness.
They all lived a long time. They did. My grandparents did. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I think both my grandfathers had dementia, and one had Parkinson's. And
my grandfather had dementia too. He had Alzheimer's. Yeah.
Finding all kinds of stuff with AI that's going to help us in every way.
You know what though? And this is what I want. I have been looking at the mesenchymal stem cells. Okay. Yeah. And I know that they are looking at that in terms of just with memory and being able to help with different cognitive diseases, degenerative diseases. Okay. It's able to help with Parkinson. It's able to help with Alzheimer's. Able to help with dementia. And I've been looking at it pretty strongly because I've been thinking of helping my mom with it, because I know my mom's 84, but she does have dementia. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. And that came on because in 2014, she was diagnosed with having ischemic events or mini strokes. And so then as she got older, due to the many strokes, she started forgetting things, and it showed up in her 70s. Okay. And she was diagnosed with vascular dementia, at that time. And now, she's still able to move around, and, she's actually, in the other room, but she cannot, if you say something to her, she cannot remember. And I've noticed too, to a certain extent, that she's beginning to lose her language. That's what she's not able to recall certain things, So it is something that I have been, looking at doing. It's just that here in the U.S., it's very regulated and are not necessarily doing it here. And
there's a lot of religion involved in it for some reason. I don't know why, but her faith involved.
I know in Panama, I know that, I was looking at a place in Panama, to be able to go, because I know they do it there. I think there's also actually a place in Colombia too. And, somewhere else, I think it's in Mexico, right? Or in California, right there with you. Okay, right? Are you in California?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, you're in Tennessee. Okay, this is in California. And they have it, I guess it's right there in Mexico, that they have it. But I just noticed they do it here, but they don't use the amount of stem cells they do everywhere else because it's very regulated here. Yeah. So I've heard that when you do it here, you don't really get the same effects as you would if you did it somewhere else.
I knew there were more restrictions around it, and people go to other countries to get treatment. Yeah. I just didn't know what they were. I never really looked into it hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured by the time they were doing great things with stem cells, everybody will be doing it here too.
Yeah.
When that time comes, if we go look at Austria and everyone's 25 years old and healthy.
Oh God, yes.
Take that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if I can go and you can kind of reset my inner being, my body. I mean, chronologically, read a whole cellular reset. Oh, that's awesome.
I would love to do that. I talked to my chat GPT about this stuff, and it's common.
I love chat GPT. I like all the GPT GPTs. They even have one called Best Friend Mia, which and I mean, she really does. She's like best friend. So like, you talk to her, you type in what things you're feeling, and she asks you questions.
Stuff. That'd be cool. She can help you pick out what color nail polish.
Exactly. Like she'll say, okay, well, what do you think? What do you like? But she's one of the GPTs.
That's cool.
Like on the side where it has GPTs, if you click on that, and it brings up all these other GPTs and Best Friend Mia.
Yeah, I love it. And there's the astrology ones. And
I
know very well about the astrology ones because I
saw that one. I did see that when I saw that one. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. But geez, we have just talked and talked.
I know.
Like we keep doing the same thing we did at the beginning of the podcast.
I know. We didn't even go into we're just chatting.
Okay, Kisha.
Yes.
I want to hear you tell the listeners what you're going to do to me.
Okay. So I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, and life coach. And today what I will do is I want to talk to you a little bit, to you and your audience, about hypnosis and dispel some myths about it, and also be able to talk about some things that, you can do to be able to help with it. It is great as a standalone modality. It is also great to be paired with traditional therapy as well. So I just want to go in and just kind of share that with your listeners and see if it's something that they would be open and what they would like to try. Because I find that there seems to be, even though it is science backed, it's really backed by science, there seems to be this mysticism about it still. People feel like some people feel like it's kind of like woo-woo, but it's really, really not. It's really not at all when you think about it. So when it comes to, first, I'm just going to explain what hypnosis is, Hypnosis is no more, it's a narrow state of focus. Where as the hypnotherapist, we're able to then bypass the critical mind, and I'll get into what that is in a bit, to be able to speak to your subconscious and be able to rewire your brain or create new neural pathways in your mind. So outside of that, I'm going to explain what some myths are, as we go along. So when people think about hypnosis or hypnotherapy, they think about the stage hypnotist, Right. And I want to make sure that I really shed some light on that, because you are paying someone to go see that. That's a show. The hypnotist, that's a show.
That's a different thing.
That's a whole different thing. That's a show. So when you see them bringing people up and they're making them jump on one leg and touch their toe and bark like animals, all that type, that's a show. People are actually
actors.
Exactly. People are there. No, it's real. It is real.
They do get people to quack like ducks?
Yeah, they do. So basically,
I thought that was fake.
No, that's a personality style called a somnambulistic. And I'll talk to you about the different personalities in a bit, Typically, when you see that, they're somnambulistic. So a somnambulist is in between. They're usually very easy to go under. They're very, very easy to go under into induction. And so it is real, but it's still done for entertainment purposes. People they buy tickets to go see this. So that's a bit different. And that's the difference. This is a clinical therapeutic modality. I use it in that modality. So I can do anything. And we've all, I think, heard from in terms of like with fears and phobias, but also helping people move past, anxiety. Really working with people who have had trauma, PTSD, by really getting in there, really helping and working with the inner child, doing some inner child work to release these different emotions. The main thing that I work with, Lisa, are people that have been involved in toxic relationships. It's huge. I will say probably.
So many have. Who hasn't?
Yes. I would say 85% of my work is derived from is something like that. And it may be other things, because remember, when you're going through trauma, the body holds that. Yeah. The body holds that trauma. So when you are going through different things, it's the trauma, but it's also the other stuff around it that causes it. So it's not just, okay, well, I feel bad, but okay, now I feel bad. Now I have shame that goes with it. I have the guilt that goes with it. Okay. It's like, right. It's like, it's all of that stuff that goes along with it. So when I'm helping people, I'm helping with them to be able to cope and move past that, and especially the inner child work. Okay. Many times, one of the things I do work with a lot is helping people to turn, maybe in an avoidant or insecure avoidant type of an attachment style, which attachment styles are how we attach to our primary caregivers as babies, as children. Okay. And many times, depending upon how you were responded to, okay, you will develop a problematic, or I should say, like insecure avoidant attachment style. Okay. But this is a way that I can change that attachment style into a secure attachment style. Okay. Moving on from there, as you get older, you have these different attachment styles, and then you wonder why you attract certain people as you get older. Okay. Because all this grows up in you. Okay. And then you get into your family, because every family is a family system. Okay. Okay, which wonderful book written by Richard Schwartz, where he is the one who coined and talked about family systems. Okay. And who do you show up to be? Are you the hero? Are you the scapegoat? Are you the golden child? Okay. Are you the invisible one? Okay. And how you present then in the world, how do you attract the people you attract? Okay. So if you were more of an insecure, like an avoidant person as a child, okay, when you grow up, you then have you are concerned about being abandoned. Okay. Abandonment issues. Okay. All right. So, and then that presents within you, then attract, and then you get with someone who they actually, people almost sometimes it comes across to the other person of being a little bit clingy. Okay. Absolutely. But it's not, but codependent. Right. But it's not that. It's that, okay, there's an abandonment wound there. Okay. Yeah. That needs to be made whole. Okay?
A lot of people do find it like,
yeah. Exactly. So, hypnosis is good for being able to fill that hole. Okay. And to show you that you are whole. Okay. And you are enough. A lot of us walk around with traumas. We all do. Okay. Nobody is perfect, and we all have traumas. We've all suffered from something, be it, way we were treated, as a child, or maybe a past love, or, in a marriage, or whatever. We all have traumas, and hypnosis is a great way to be able to deal with it. And many times it does work, typically sometimes a little quicker than traditional cognitive behavioral therapy. And the reason why is because we are speaking directly to the subconscious. So this is where I'm going to explain in terms of how that works, and why sometimes when someone tells you something that is positive about yourself, if you don't believe it in here, you won't accept it. Okay, you'll kind of kick it out. So that's when we get into the theory of mind. So I don't have a diagram, but if you could picture a circle around the palm of my hand. Okay, the very bottom is considered, we call that where your fight, flight, and freeze. That's housed there. Okay, right there. Okay, now right up above it, which is also the largest part of your mind, is your subconscious. Okay, now right up above that, there's a larger circle, a little smaller circle, but that's your waking state, your conscious mind. That's where we are now. Okay. Now, right in between that conscious mind and the subconscious mind, there is like a filter, and that filter is called the critical mind. So what happens is this: your subconscious mind makes up 88% of your mind. Okay. Your waking state, where we are now, that makes up 12%. Okay. So your waking state, we have logic, we have reasoning, okay, we make decision-making, thought, all of that. That happens now, okay? But you have a whole other subconscious where things are packed in there. So from the time we are 0 up until 8 years old, okay, we are very suggestible. Okay, kind of like how kids at that age are able to take in everything. And usually also too, since we got into in terms of a psychic or in the different abilities and gifts, that's usually when kids are able, because they're just so, the energy is open, okay? And
Right.
they are able to feel and they take everything on its face value, okay?
Right.
Right around 8, you start developing your own way of thinking about things. You start to take in critical self-talk. So right around that age, you start to hear things and internalize things that may be positive, but also negative. Okay. We call those as known associations in the hypnotherapy world. Okay. So those known associations are things that grow up to be who you know you are. Okay. And they can be positive, but also negative. Okay. So for example, if you know you to be a very kind and upbeat person, okay, that is a positive one. It's a known association. You've grown up knowing that. But the other way can also be is if you've been made to feel that you don't matter or that you are not worthy, okay, that also internalizes as a known dissociation. A negative one, but still a known association, okay? So those negative ones, that's what a cognitive behavioral therapist would consider to be a distortions. Okay. That's the word they would use. We use known associations. Okay. So what ends up happening is as you get older and you go to a traditional therapist and you want to change these different things about yourself, the therapist has to fight through your waking state and it has to fight through that critical mind. So the critical mind acts as a filter. Okay. So its sole job is to filter out anything that is not known and that is not a known association. Be good or bad, okay? And that's the whole thing, okay? So it can't distinguish between negative or positive, okay? If it's not known, it's going to block it being good or bad, okay? So for example, what's something that's positive about yourself that you know, Lisa, to be very true?
I think I'm a good musician when I'm relaxed.
Okay. So you're a good musician. So when you're relaxed. So if someone comes up and tells you, okay, you are not a good musician when you're relaxed, you would never receive that. It wouldn't even penetrate your mind.
Well, I would think being mean to me on purpose, yeah.
Right. But you would not accept
that's
it.
That's a weird thing to say to somebody.
Right, that's mean, right? But it's mean because you know you to be who you are. So that would not, but what's blocking that is your critical mind. It kicks it right out. It doesn't even penetrate, okay? Now, just like that critical mind kicks that out, if there is something negative about yourself that you internalize, and someone says the opposite and says no, and says something positive about you, it'll kick that out too.
Yeah.
It'll kick that out too. So that's why people will hear things, okay, but yet they don't believe it, okay? Because of what is inside, those known associations is turning that, okay? So what we do as hypnotherapists, we take the critical mind completely offline. Okay. And that's what hypnosis does. It takes it offline. So we don't have to deal with it. So when we are speaking directly to your subconscious mind. So also when people hear, people hear us go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep sleep, and you'll do something like that. Okay. Yeah. Everybody knows, if they watch a movie, they'll see that. Okay. Here's the thing. It's not actually a deep sleep. It's not. Okay. In the movies, everybody go, but it's not really.
Yeah.
And you may slump your head. You do that, but that's because you're in a relaxed state, but you're not asleep. In fact, you're very aware. of everything that's
That's
going on.
what I've heard. I always
You
heard.
are very aware. You are very aware. So then that dispels the myth that you can go unconscious. You cannot. Okay. And actually, we've all been in hypnosis at one point or another. In fact, we go in and out of every day, but we just don't realize it. So an example of that is if you are watching television and someone comes in the room and startles you because they've been calling your name, but you didn't hear them before because you are paying attention to what you're watching. That's a form of hypnosis.
Yeah, it is.
Remember, it's a narrow state of focus. The only difference is with me is that the narrow state of focus in that example is TV and what you're listening to. That's what you're zoned in on. Okay. The only difference with that is when you're with me, that narrow state of focus becomes my voice.
Yes.
Only difference. It's the same thing. It really is. Okay. But people, and I hope that, kind of sheds some light for your listeners to know that it's nothing to be afraid of.
I think it did for me too. I wasn't afraid though, but when I was younger, I was afraid of autism. My mentor that was human, alive, his name was Philip, and he was a hypnotist, and he would never hypnotize me, and I never knew why. But he would just say, "No, we'll try it later." But I was always afraid, actually, because I would be like, "Okay, let's do it," and he'd be like, "Well, not today." He wanted me to be ready because I was still scared of it. He just didn't want to do that when I was scared of it.
Right? Yeah. Because it could really turn someone off.
Yes.
But the point is to make them feel very comfortable. Make people feel comfortable, and that's why I'm explaining this, because I want people to know that this is not scary. Okay, and it is as simple as kind of that feeling that you're getting when you are kind of like in between, that nodding, kind of in and out, kind of like half sleep, halfway, kind of going in and out. That's really how it feels.
That's wonderful.
In and out, like that type of thing. Okay. But when you're in and out, you still are aware.
Okay.
You're still aware.
Yes. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the state I get into when I'm sleeping, just drifting off, and I start talking in my sleep and wake myself.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Yep, that's it. That is it. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a really thorough and wonderful explanation of what hypnotherapy is and what you do for your work. I love listening to you. Listeners, watchers, can you not just listen to Kisha talk for the rest of the podcast? At least, really, you can talk. Your voice is very soothing and relaxing, but everything you said, I heard. I didn't space out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I heard every word. It's like you put an intention behind every single thing you said. And I got it. Your attention was on what you were saying in a narrow focus, maybe. And, it was like a hypnotism.
Yeah.
It's something I do want to also add to your debunk thing of hypnotists is a lot of people think hypnotists just go around hypnotizing people all the time.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's the one I always thought when I was a kid. Did you not tell me?
No. And remember also too, there's ethics to this. You wouldn't want to do that, to anybody anyway. There's some ethics.
That's a misconception.
That's yeah. And there's an ethical thing. And if you find someone who's trying to do that, then that's not a good person.
Unethical, yes.
It's very unethical person to do something like that. One of the things I make sure that I let people know that, first of all, you will not be asked to do anything when you are in hypnosis that you would not do in your waking state.
Right.
Okay? So that you're not going to go unconscious. Okay. You can't actually, it's impossible because you are aware. It's impossible. Okay. But this is a big one. And I get this all the time. As a hypnotherapist, I can't create something that isn't already there. So it starts with a foundation. So what that means is if someone has never played the piano, I can't make them a musician. I really can't. As much as I would love to be able to say that I cannot. I can't do it. Okay. Yeah. Now what I can do is I can make it so that you are able to understand the music and that you want to learn the music. Okay. I can do that. And if you have a love for it and a desire for it, I can do that. Okay. But I cannot create something that is not already there.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess also something that could be there, say this person did learn to play piano, but what block was there until they were scared of performing, maybe.
Now that I can take care of. Performance anxiety, that we can take care of.
Would you take it from that angle? Yes.
That we can absolutely work with,
and you would get to with like the root of why they're
we would get to okay, and why you are afraid of it. I would ask you, okay, well, what is it that you feel? And many times what our minds do with that block, it's a lot of times blocks are there to protect us. They're there to protect us. Okay. So what I tend to do is I tend to speak when I'm in hypnosis with her, helping someone in hypnosis to unblock something. I find it very helpful to have that person imagine the block. Imagine it. What color is the block? What the block looks like. To put, kind of like an image or the color. Make it kind of like a living, breathing thing. Okay. And then be able to tell the block, thank you for protecting me, but you no longer need to protect me. Okay. I'm fine. I want to know this. You don't have to protect me anymore. Thank you for what you did, but you can go now.
Yeah.
And then have the block go, okay? And make the block, make it purple, okay? And watch the block go. Watch the purple disintegrate. See that the block is actually being lifted at that point, okay? And that then lifts it, that helps to lift it off of you, okay? You are actively telling the block, thank you for protecting me when you did, okay? But I don't need you to protect me with that. I'm actually okay. I'm all right. You may go. Tell the block to be able to go.
Yourself and getting rid of the
exactly
took from you or you gave.
Exactly.
Oh, I love this. I want to. You have given, I think, just a very, very, really thorough for this podcast. I mean, I can't get over it. No one's told me that much about hypnotherapy in my life. I've read about it a lot, but no one's told me that much in whatever amount of time that was, like 45 minutes or something. That was amazing. And we had a lot of talking in there too.
Yeah, we did.
But listeners and watchers, would you like to tell them what we're gonna maybe do with me and you? How we might be doing this little experiment.
Yes. So
my performance anxiety as my goal, because I have that.
Okay, so then
that's
kind of
performance anxiety.
Right. But when it comes to musically. So that's what, we will work on. We will work on that. And what I would do, and again, as I mentioned before, your first session is really, really detailed. Okay. So one of the things that by the time we do this, I've already gotten half of it out the way with you because I don't have to explain to you anymore what hypnosis is because I've already done that. You already know. Exactly. But we do something also called the suggestibility test. And what that does is to be able to determine how you take in, direction. How do you take that in? Left brain or right brain, And then we go into something called the suggestibility questionnaire. So the suggestibility questionnaire is comprised of 36 questions, and the way you answer them, it's answered by nonverbal cues. So you don't answer yes or no. You just shake your head yes if it's something you agree with. You shake your head no if it's something you don't agree with. And if it's something where you might need a little bit more time just to kind of understand, then you don't shake your head yes or no. And then that's my cue to give you a couple seconds and then to ask you the question again. And then what happens is after we do those 36 questions, also it scores you. And it scores which personality type are you? Are you a phys, which is short for physical, or an emo, which is short for emotional, or are you a somnambulist? So phys and emo, it is not based on gender, okay? It's your personality. So a phys is someone who typically someone who might be a little bit more of an extrovert, okay? maybe wears their heart a little bit more on their sleeve, okay? Can kind of command a room, not afraid to ask questions in front of people, could maybe sometimes life in a party, that type of person, okay? Now, emo or an emotional is someone who might be a little more on the introverted side. So that's someone who may not be a little more reserved with the way they do things, okay? They may be a little quiet, you may have to get to know them a little better before they kind of come out of their shell a little bit. They may not wear their heart so much on the sleeve, as that. So what happens with that is we use that to be able to decide what type of induction to use to put you under, okay? And the somnambulist is someone who's right in between the emo and the phys, the emotional and the physical, and are usually the ones that really go into hypnosis pretty quickly, or the ones that are right in the middle, okay? So once we do that, then that's when we kind of go into it. And by doing that and talking to you, I'm building up, I'm already going ahead and creating that thought and that process. One of the things that starts to happen as you begin to go into hypnosis is that you will notice that your mouth begins to get just a bit dry. Okay, just a little bit dry. And you find the urge that you might want to even swallow. Just a little bit.
Make me want to swallow.
See, that's a suggestion. But you know why? Because I've built that up in you already by talking
my mouth
to
did
you.
get a little bit.
Exactly.
But I did lick my lips.
Your lips, your tongue, and your mouth
do
have the tendency to get a bit dry. Okay. Yeah. And what happens is, I've been building up these messages by talking to you. Okay. You didn't realize it, but that's what happens. Okay. So then what happens is from there, we do something where we do a contrast, okay, where we want someone to create in their mind that one hand is lighter than the other one.
Okay.
The other arm. So it will be something like, for example, if you have a pillow and you say you have your left arm on like a little pillow, and you have your left arm like right on your lap or right beside you, okay? And you have your right arm on that pillow, okay? And what happens is, as you begin to breathe deeply, you begin to make that association. You allow your mind to be able to create that your left hand feels very, very light, lighter and lighter, light as a feather, and even lighter than air. And you continue taking in deep breaths, in and out, as you allow yourself to create that sensation that your right hand feels heavy, very relaxed, feeling very, very relaxed. Meanwhile, your left hand feels very, very light, very light. Even perhaps even a floating feeling as it feels lighter and lighter. And you continue to allow yourself to create that sensation of that right hand feeling very, very heavy, very relaxed, and that left hand feeling very, very light, light as a feather, lighter than air. In fact, you may imagine that there are several large helium balloons, and they are tied around your left wrist, and they begin to float and lift that left wrist, giving that light as a feather, light as air, floating feeling. Meanwhile, that right hand feels very relaxed, very, very heavy, very heavy, while your right or left feels very light. And feeling what that contrast feels like. feeling that difference, creating that feeling of that left arm feeling very, very light, especially around your wrist, while that right arm feels very, very heavy, feeling relaxed. So when you begin to feel that feeling and that sensation of that left hand feeling lighter than your right hand, just nod your head yes, just to let me know. Very good. Very good. Continuing to breathe in and out. And now we're going to go into progressive relaxation. I need to think about the top of your head, feeling this warm, intriguing, and inviting relaxation as it moves down your scalp, feeling that energy move down through your temples, all through your jaw, softening your shoulders along the way as you breathe in deeply in and out, and allowing that relaxation to continue down through your chest, allowing it to open it up and down through your solar plexus, down through your hips, feeling that energy, feeling it relax you, allowing you to drift further and further, welcoming relaxation as it continues to move down your thighs, into your legs, softening your shins, your knees, your ankles, loosening up all those different parts of your body, moving on down into your ankles, allowing you to even soften your toes, even to the tips, allowing you to become very, very relaxed. Now, I want you to visualize or imagine that you are standing at the top of a welcoming staircase. It is very brightly well lit, and it has sturdy handrails that lead down to an inviting and welcoming bottom landing. In fact, you already know that with each step down, it will deepen your sense of relaxation. So in your mind's eye, you step down at 20 with your left foot and 19 with your right, 18 going deeper at 17, 16 going twice as deep at 15, 14, 13, feeling relaxed at 12, 11, 10, going deeper still at 9, 8, and all the while just listening to my voice. Any and all other outside sounds, they even tend to make you relax even more as you focus in on my voice. And as we continue at 8, 7, 6, going deeper at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Deep sleep, deep sleep. Each and every time I do suggest the words deep sleep to you for the purpose of hypnosis and always with your permission, you will enter the state of hypnosis quickly, calmly, and deeply. Allow your physical body to relax. Now I want you to imagine. Imagine it is a beautiful, crisp morning. You're walking through the trees in the forest. You hear the bird song. The air is warm but not hot. Feeling warm, feeling relaxed. And you come across a chair, and it's a comfortable chair. It reminds you of a favorite chair that you once knew, one that is worn and just for you, one that has the shape of your body when you sit in it because you've been in it so many times. It's very comfortable. In fact, now you sit in that chair, and that comfortable feeling that you have, that's how you feel when you're on stage. You feel comfortable to be there. There is no need for fear because you feel comfortable there. In fact, anytime you hear and you think about being on stage, you immediately are transported to that comfortable, easy chair. That chair is comfortable, just as it is comfortable performing on stage. They're one and the same. Comfort and comfort. Easy going, comfortable chair. Because you're comfortable on stage, even though you are in front of people. You become very relaxed. In fact, being in front of people makes you relax. You become very calm when you see lights, when you are on a stage, and when you see people, you immediately go to calm because you immediately think of that comfortable chair, that favorite sofa. Perhaps it's a recliner, but it brings you so much comfort, just as being on stage brings you so much comfort, so much comfort. You release anxiety as it no longer serves you. Now, when you feel anxious, you feel comfort. Now, Lisa, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And as I come up, you will begin to awaken. And you will bring all of these truths back with you. Coming up at 1, 2, bringing back that comfortability. Coming up at 3, feeling calm. Feeling calm. Coming up at 4, knowing that fear and anxiety no longer serves you on the stage, and releasing it as you feel calm on that stage. And now coming up at 5, Lisa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. Bring you back with us.
Oh,
How do you feel?
Very relaxed. You remember my voice was shaking when we first started talking? And
it's gone.
Y'all hear my voice? This is how it usually sounds, but I'm nervous during podcasts.
You're not nervous anymore. You feel comfortable.
Not right now. I'm not. I feel great. You want to go get a drink?
Yes. Do not tempt me, because on our next one, we'll have to have wine. I will bring wine if people have wine.
We'll have wine.
Don't tempt me with a good time, okay?
I'm in Nashville. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I feel so relaxed. I feel like I just want to, I want to get, I couldn't think of a comfortable anything that I've done in my life. But friends just recently got this brand new couch that I thought of, because when I first sat on it, I was like, whoa, what is it? And that's what I thought of being on, was that couch.
Thought of. Okay. Yeah.
Because it was so comfortable.
And that's hypnosis. And that's not even, and we were able to do that, and that's just by building up these message units. So as we're talking about it, it's putting you in a state to go into hypnosis. Okay. That's why when I mentioned about your mouth and your lips getting dry, that's why you felt that. That's the beginning phases of it. The beginning part of
really
hypnosis.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the power of suggestion.
Wow. It was. I knew. I thought when you said something else after that. When I licked my lips, I thought maybe you were doing that.
No, that was.
And then the second thing, I did it too.
Right. Right.
My mouth is dry. That's what you said.
Yeah. That's when you know. That's how you know you're beginning to get there. Yeah.
I feel real foggy.
The first phase of it. That's okay. That's part of it. The fogginess. Okay. So one of the things I tell people, don't drive after you come out of hypnosis. No, if you can, get some rest, because you will feel kind of foggy, a little in and out of it a little bit. Yeah. So get some rest. I usually tell people, drink some water, have some water near you. You drink the water helps to kind of bring you back into yourself. Okay. So that's all part of that as well. Okay.
And listen, if you decide to do this on your own, don't drive.
No, don't.
My hands, I don't know if you did this or not, but when you were doing the hands, they were level at the end. I had to watch the video, but I had my eyes closed, and it felt like, because I could feel them like lifting and lowering, but at the same time, I wasn't, that was really cool.
And that's the thing. So like when we make the recording, like this is recorded, one of the things that I tell people is for safety precaution, this is supposed to be a very relaxed recording. Do not listen to this when you are driving.
And I'll make that a note in the
don't listen to that when you're driving, because you will, to put you in, you need to be awake and on your game and alert when you're driving. Don't listen to it when you're driving, and do not drive shortly after listening to it either. Give yourself a few minutes, okay, to just sit and just come back to yourself before you jump out and get behind the wheel, okay? But
don't host a podcast and do that. Listen to my mouth. It's like slow, like I inhaled some balloons or something.
Yeah, and it feels kind of in and out. And,
this is right.
Yeah, that's part of it.
I am disoriented, but it's a great feeling, because I feel like I'm always sped up. I'm always amped, and it's not always a pleasant feeling. I mean, sometimes it feels good to have a lot of energy all the time, because I don't really have to deal with pain as much.
Right. It's an attitude. Right.
But this is different. This is an attitude. Like my vision is getting sharper all of a sudden. As time is passing, different thing. I'm coming back.
You're coming back to yourself now.
Oh, this is so cool, guys.
Yeah, you're coming back to yourself now. Yeah.
My tongue is really fat. Oh, listeners, you've got to try this. Oh my gosh. That is really cool. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Anytime, Lisa. Anytime.
I want to thank my sponsor, but Everclear, you understand, I just can't right now, because I don't think I'd do it well. Good job. See, I can't talk. That was just hypnotism. Oh my gosh. I feel great. I do. I just want to go lie on the couch, and I
You want
hate
to go take a
the
nap?
podcast
Yep.
short, and I want to get advice from you. So you just have to come back.
I
So
will come
thank
back.
everyone.
I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking
can't
so much.
wait
I've
either.
had so much fun
Wonderful.
working with you.
And she is coming back, listeners and watchers.
I am. I'm definitely coming back. Yes.
And at this
Yes.
point, I'm going to let everyone go because I have got to go lie down and just get
So
some.
take a nap. Drink some
Wow,
water.
that was incredible. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
And
Very
listeners, I think she loves you. I usually ask you if you love the listeners and watchers, but I think you do.
I do. I really, really do. I mean, my goal is to be able to help, and to be able to show you how to help yourselves, even with self-hypnosis, I'm doing this, one-on-one with you, but there's no reason that, the little practice that you aren't able to be able to help yourself as well. So
Right.
I believe in, kind of teaching people to be able to help.
Wonderful.
If
And you
want to
explained it all, and you didn't keep any mystery to it. Like, for us not to,
Yeah,
right.
no.
It's great.
This isn't a gated, guarded type thing. Okay, it's imperative that you know. It's imperative that you listeners know. Really, it really is. Yeah.
Okay, here's a better look at my eyes now. A little bit after it, they're a little bit brighter. They're still foggy. Did I smoke something? And did you make me smoke something?
No,
Thank you.
no, not at all.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not at all.
It feels really fun. I mean, I feel kind of like I just got off a ride on a boat.
Yeah, that's about it. That's
like a
it.
not sickness, but sea walk.
Right, like that in and out. Yep, that's it.
That's sea legs. That's great. Okay. Well, I'll let you go, and listeners and watchers, I'll let you go, and I'll let me go that way into the couch room. And thank you again and again and again.
Absolutely.
And send me all your information. I'll put it in the description.
Absolutely.
I
absolutely do that.
I love you to death, Kisha. Thank you so much for this. And listeners,
oh, thank you too, Lisa. I had an amazing time, and I'm looking forward to working with you again. Like, I'm serious. We're going to keep this going.
We're going to keep it going. We're
going to keep this going. I'm going to send things. We're going to do some frequencies and work together.
Yes.
We're going to keep this going.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's
okay.
Okay.
All right, then. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Listeners and watchers, peace out.
Bye.